Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Merkis, and I would like to show you a video on how to properly clean up spills in the laboratory. The first question we have on our worksheet is, how do we clean up an acid spill? So in your laboratory, you should have some sort of a spill kit. And if you look back here, I have a spill kit that was in this bin, and I keep it under my hood. You'll have to ask your teacher where he or she keeps it. In the spill kit are different things to help us clean up spills. And there's also a pair of rubber gloves, and these are acid resistant gloves. So this is the equipment that we can use to clean up a spill. I already have some gloves out, so I'm going to put those gloves on, and we are going to clean up what I think is an acid spill. If we look at this area in front, we're going to say that that is an acid spill. So in order to clean up that acid spill, I don't want to touch it because it could burn your skin. What I want to do is neutralize it. And if this spill is large, what we want to do is contain the spill by putting some sand around it. And I would just sprinkle some sand around the spill if it's a large spill. Now, this spill is not extremely large. It is pretty contained, but I'm still going to show you how I would sprinkle this sand down. And I'm just creating a barrier around that acid. And I would go all the way around it, and it's like I'm creating a little ledge around that acid spill. The sand is not going to do anything to neutralize it. It just contains it so it doesn't flow away from you. The most important thing we need to do is neutralize it, and this is an acid neutralizer. And what I'm going to do is take this acid neutralizer and sprinkle it on the acid. So once we sprinkle it on the acid, it's going to neutralize. It's going to bubble like this was an example of water. It's going to bubble and eventually neutralize, and I would just keep adding this until the bubbling stopped. And then I would know that the acid is neutralized. Once this is all neutralized, I can take my broom and then clean this whole thing up. And put it in the garbage. So I would go ahead and put that in the garbage, okay? So let's say this spill, so that's an acid spill. Acid spill, contain it if you need to, if it's large. If it isn't, you can just sprinkle the neutralizer on it, wait for the bubbling to stop, and then you can sweep it up. Let's say I spill something else, and it's an unknown spill, and I just don't want to touch it. So here's an unknown substance. It's not acid, so I don't need to neutralize it, but I don't want to touch it, and it is something I need to try to clean up. There is a different type of absorbent. In fact, we have two choices. If it's a big spill, we can take this absorbent pillow and put it on and kind of have it absorb within this pillow, and then the pillow can be just thrown out. Or we can take this absorbent, which is really just cat litter, and we can put it on that unknown spill. Let it sit there for a little bit. And again, we can clean it up by sweeping it into the dustpan and throwing it in the garbage. So that is the way to clean up a spill that is either an acid or not an acid, and you need to be able to address it and clean it up. Well, the last thing is, or the second to the last thing, is to clean up broken glassware. Well, if I'm going to break glassware, which I don't think I'm going to, but let's just say that this is my broken glass and it smashes on the ground, the beaker smashes, and I have broken glassware. Do not use your fingers to pick it up. If you do need to use your fingers, get some pretty thick gloves on and very carefully pick it up. But the best way to pick up broken glass is to take your broom and dustpan and sweep the glass into the dustpan. Well, we do not want to put it in a normal garbage can. So in your classroom, and you can ask your teacher where it is, we should have a bucket. It's normally red that we put broken glassware in. And that way the custodial staff or anyone that is going to come across the glassware will know that, boy, there's some sharp glassware here. I'm going to take special precaution and hopefully not get cut by it. So that's cleaning up an acid and a non-acid spill and cleaning up broken glassware. Use a broom and a dustpan. So then finally, not finally, but second to finally, part 5, how to sanitize and leave your station after a lab is done. So when a lab is done, you'll want all of your glassware to be cleaned. Make sure it is sanitized for the next group. And if it went through soap and water, it is. Then with lab station, you're going to want to clean this station. And you can clean the station by using a variety of means. You can take some paper towel and kind of get it wet, clean up the station. And once you have like the entire station cleaned, and then that goes in the garbage, and you can dry it as well, then you'll need to take the sanitizing spray, spray the entire lab area, and you can clean that. You can let it sit. I think it needs to sit for like 3 minutes. Spray it on, let it sit, and then it can be wiped off. But before you use this sanitizing spray, you'll want to have the lab station clean.